Hello, my name's Anthony, and this is the Cardano Fund Catalyst Show. We look at three projects per show to see how they're doing in Catalyst. Now, I have to start the show by saying hello again, I guess. I've been away for about 3 weeks. My lovely wife decided to bring home COVID and share it with me and our 8-year-old daughter. So for the past 3 weeks or so, we've been taking turns being pretty sick, but we're all okay. I don't know if you really want to hear about COVID, but I will say one thing. It's amazing and wonderful that kids really don't get this. You know, kids under the age of 16 and more under the age of 12 or so, the flu is worse for them. I mean, yeah, we wouldn't have known my 8-year-old daughter had COVID except for the fact that we had it. So we had her tested when she coughed a little, but that's all she did was she coughed a little bit, a few days. And that was it. And that was absolutely it. We would have thought it was a just common cold. My wife and I had a different story. We got a bit sicker. We were kind of laid up in bed, that sort of thing. But you know, evidently we didn't have as bad as some, you know. But it still took a good 3 weeks or so to get through our systems, and I still have a little bit up here, but I'm sure it'll be gone soon. I feel much better. I guess I just started off the show with that, so you guys, the 15 of you that watch me, know where I've been for the past 3 weeks. All right. Okay, so as usual, the show is sponsored by the Sophie Stake Pool. This is my stake pool. It's a small stake pool. We've only got a little over 500,000 ADA staked. You know, we've been here since the beginning. We've got 92 lifetime blocks. For a small pool, we do okay. Our luck is 102%. So if you're considering moving or staking somewhere else, please consider the stake pool. If you want to support the show, the best way to do it is to delegate to the stake pool. So yeah, so that's where we are with that. I don't know if my head's in the game yet, to be honest with you. Okay, let's get down to this. So we have well, you know what? Before we go on to the projects here, I want to talk one thing real quick about Charles. I wrote it down here at the bottom. The rollout for Plutus is coming sometime after July. Cardano partners, Coinbase, etc., need time to implement the Plutus tech. So according to Charles, the Plutus tech is going to be available to be implemented from July until the middle of August. He said 4 to 6 weeks, I think. And during that time, there's also going to be a test net for all of us who want to learn it, called Plutus Pioneers, I believe. So I wanted to kind of talk about that real quick. You know what? I really like Charles so much that I listen to most of his stuff. And some people are a little frustrated with the rollout of smart contracts and Plutus. And I understand it, you know, because he does have a way of kind of pushing things along and you know, kind of talking like it was always supposed to maybe come out in August, when it probably wasn't supposed to come. It was supposed to come out a little sooner, according to, you know, some things he said a bit earlier. But that's okay. It's frustrating, sure, it's definitely frustrating, but I'm fine with it as long as things keep going, and it comes out, and I have no reason to think that that's not going to happen. So I just wanted to mention that real quick. Okay, let's get on with these projects. So these three proposals, projects, whatever you want to call it, two of them. First of all, let's start the right way here. So for Fund 4, which is what we're looking at proposals for, there's seven different campaigns. So I'm not going to go through all of these. The one we're doing today, we're looking at is Dapps and integrations. So essentially, you have to answer this question, right? What applications will provide the most value for end users in 2021? Okay, so that's the question that these proposers are asking with their projects. All right, I picked three projects. One is an older project that I went over before, and I wanted to revisit it, because if you remember, when we were going over projects before, we were still in that period of time where you could change projects up. So it's kind of hard to look at some of these projects knowing that they may still be changed, right? So I wanted to look at some of the projects later on to see if they actually were changed. But now we're at the period where there's no more changing. They're locked down pretty much in stone here at this point. Okay, and that'll be the third one. So the first two are new projects that we're going to look at. So let's head over here to the first project. The first project is called. Da, 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 da. It is called. Let me get this in front of me here. Polyswap, decentralized exchange. Okay, so let's go through this a little bit. Problem statement. It should be possible to trade in native tokens in a trustless, decentralized manner. Yes. Okay, so this is going to be some kind of a swap. You know, I'm thinking like uni-swap, right? I saw Polyswap, uni-swap. So I Googled Poly and Uni just because I'm trying to figure out how this is different than Uniswap. Are they just using a different name or what? Uniswap actually only means one. Poly means many. I think that's mostly the difference, except there's one thing at the end I'll show you that's a little bit different than what Uniswap does currently in the current version. Okay, his description, or Daniel's description or solution of the problem is Polyswap will build and maintain an on-chain protocol using Plutus contracts for trustless, decentralized trading of native tokens. So essentially what Uniswap does for Ethereum, essentially the same thing. So you have ADA and you have the Cardano token, whatever token was made by whoever, and you could change it on this exchange. Relevant experience, background in machine learning and computer graphics, experience in homomorphic encryption and probabilistic programming languages. Okay. So if you watch my show at all, you know I'm a real big on people showing what they say, right? You say you're a developer, show me something, right? Show me a GitHub, something you've worked on before, anything. I want to see something. I want to see that you have this experience. So I said, oh, good, look, we have a website. So I clicked on the website. We pull up the website, and this is it. So it's just a page saying Polyswap, a decentralized exchange, kind of showing that it's coming, which is perfectly fine. So I went down here and I said, oh, look, GitHub link. That's good. Let's look at the GitHub link. So I click on the GitHub link here. First thing I went to here was the website. Oh, website. Okay, let's see what this is. Clicked on it. You know, it's the Next.js project. So I think this is kind of, what would you call it? Like a kind of a base program where you build kind of a base program, I guess, where you build it out. Because if we go to pages, we only got two things here. It's not really much on these pages. And if you go over here to, I don't know, public, it's just the icon. Okay, so I said, okay, so let's go look at the other stuff that they have here in Polyswap. Also, Daedalus and Plutus. Wow, look at this. So I said, oh, let me look at this. I said, wow, that's interesting. Look at this. This looks like they're doing something here. Then I noticed Daedalus is the wallet for Cardano. This branch is 73 commits behind input output. So this was copied over input output, put in his GitHub here repository, which is fine. People do that all the time, work on projects. But when I see stuff like this, I think you're trying to pull the wool over our eyes. You just got this here. Have you done anything? And then when I see it's 73 commits behind input output, it hasn't even been kept up, which in this case would be just, downloading the new input output project, Daedalus project. And it's the same thing if you go over here to Plutus, it's exactly the same thing. It's for input output, right? Okay, so that's what we got here. So, and this is 224 commits behind. So obviously he has been keeping up on this. Okay, so that's what we got so far with this project. So we got just like a page, and then he has Twitter, but Twitter's Twitter. It's not, it's just whatever. So that's kind of his experience. So it doesn't really show much, right? I mean, I guess if someone just looked real quick, they'd say, wow, look at all this kind of big projects going on, but really it doesn't really show too much. I read through all of this. So this is the roadmap, right? Write and test smart contracts. So that's the first thing they want to do. Then build a fully featured website. Okay, so they want to fix up that website. Integrate with the Daedalus wallet. Okay, so that's why he has that Daedalus there. That's why I downloaded that Daedalus, probably because he wants to integrate it with the wallet. Launch the same day Goguen goes live on mainnet, which is probably going to be, as we just talked about, sometime in August. The future roadmap. Transactions, allow transactions from the Polyswap webpage. Okay, well, that's what this is supposed to do. Improve the protocol to allow liquidity providers to deposit token pairs in arbitrary proportions, even deposit only one type of a token. That's a little different from what Uniswap is right now. Essentially on Uniswap, if you want to trade ETH with, I don't know, pick your token, you have to put in the same value amount of each token. So into the contract, if you want to kind of support the contract, make some money off it. What he's saying though, with this Polyswap, you can just add one end of that. So just the ETH or just the other token, you don't have to add both of them. So that's a little different than what Uniswap is doing right now. Okay, what does he want? $50,000. Okay. Okay, so yeah, this needs work, obviously. You really have to break down what you need the $50,000 for. This is a nice little roadmap. Break it down some more. You have to show your experience. There's tons of people trying to do just this, a decentralized exchange. This is one of the things that Charles kind of called for in his video. Now, a ton of people are trying to do it, including IOHK, I think. So, yeah, this just needs a lot of work. This looks to me like he put this up in February, and we're in April now, and that's all he did, right? He just put this up and didn't do anything else. And I say that because we got to move on to the next project here. And we went to Plaid. Anybody remember Spaceballs? Let me cheat here for a second. We get us back here. Okay, we're gonna go into the next project. I'm spending way too much time on this. Essentially, what I'm saying is this needs more help and needs to be updated. Okay, so let us move on to the next project here. This next project caught my eye because, let's see, funding tree planting organizations. Okay, that sounds good, right? I'm all for green stuff, especially if you're doing stuff like planting trees and planting stuff and kind of letting nature take its course with this. Problem. Develop stable income for green organizations through the development of a stakeable token, an NFT, which rewards would be spread across. Okay, so they want to develop a stakeable token. Relevant experience. I don't have much experience developing a token, but I've donated and participated in local events related to making the world greener. That is awesome, but you need a developer. You're not going to get money if you don't have a developer hooked onto this. These projects, there's just too many projects now that have like the whole enchilada. You know what I mean? It's going to be hard to get a project funded without having some kind of developer hooked in with the project. Detailed plan. Okay, so I don't want to go through, let's go through this quick. Develop this token would allow us to fund a partner with tree planting organizations around the world with the ability to stake. This project could easily be able to achieve its goal. So he wants a token that can stake, and essentially they're going to take the rewards from the staking, I think, and use it. I think that's kind of what he's getting at. Why stakeable tokens? Stakeable tokens provide an easy, simpler way to generate a stable fund for an organization. Okay, how do I plan to make the token worthwhile? So he's what is his name? Zan is, what the heck just happened here? Jeez. So Zan is essentially saying it depends on the people that invest. The more invested in the coin, the higher the price. How are staking rewards spread? How are staking rewards spread across organizations? All bought-owned tokens will be staked from different pools the same way Cardano is, but a percentage earned will be distributed across the organizations that need funding. So essentially, as Cardano takes a little bit of money out of every pool for a treasury, it looks like that's kind of what he's trying to do with this, but instead of going to a treasury, it's going to these projects. How do we determine which org needs funding? Essentially, in here, what he said was something like Catalyst vote to find out. How am I going to attract customers? Let's see, what do people like the most? Like to earn passive income, so we plan to offer a percentage rate of 5 to 7%. And since the token would be cheaper to get a hold of first, people will be highly likely to invest in our token. Okay, 5 to 7% of nothing is nothing. So it really depends on how, I don't know, how popular this token is. Why not create a Cardano pool instead? As much as we'd love to do something like that, we would not be able to generate enough funds. So they're saying that one pool is not going to generate enough funds. They'd rather have a little from every pool, which makes sense if the pools are earning money. Okay, how will the funds be spent? $60,000 on hiring a team, right? $60,000. Dapp development, $20,000. Community engagement, $5,000. Communicate with organizations or yeah, accounting, advertising, etc. $15,000 total, $100,000. It's like clockwork with these proposals. If you have people that really know what they're doing, developers who know what things cost and how much it's going to cost, you always get a reasonable amount. I've seen projects that are just great proposals, great projects, and they're asking for $35,000, $40,000. You get something like this where this guy Zahn, what is going on here? Really doesn't seem to know what kind of what he's doing. You know what I mean? I don't mean that in a bad way. He's just not a developer. He doesn't know what things are going to cost. And $100,000 is a lot of money when you're coming to the table with not a lot of stuff here. I mean, with just one thing off the top of my head, developing a coin is easy. I've done it. It's a couple lines of code, and you make a coin. So it's not that hard. And knowing that, and then looking at the $100,000, a lot of money. Okay, so let's wrap this one up. This needs a developer, and it needs to be revamped a little bit in here because what he's saying he wants to do, I don't know if you can do it with a Cardano token as far as the as far as this goes, with creating a stakeable token. I don't know if you can do that. You have to look more into that. So. Okay, let's get to the third and final coin here. So this one is one we've looked at before. So this is the one we've looked at before. So let's pop on over here to number 3. So this, improve agriculture with Dapps. The problem, the optimization of agriculture techniques is sufficient for self-sustainability. The lack of free knowledge is the biggest challenge. So essentially this Dapp, what he wants, probably not a real name. What they want, why is this happening? Jeez. What they want to do is create a Dapp where it spreads information like around the world. So someone in Ethiopia has access to information about agriculture that someone from across the world might have. And they also want to combine this with AI, right? So the Dapp kind of learns about kind of where you are and what kind of information you need. All right. So the solution, we propose a Dapp where people can access to agricultural techniques, I guess can have access to agricultural techniques, and the ability to improve, share, and create new ones in Cardano. Experience, I'm a biophysicist by training and an entrepreneur. Our team is building AI applications for industrial usage. Okay. So this is good. So he knows what he's talking about as far as the chemistry part of it, biochemistry part of it. But this app, I don't think they did a whole lot of work on it. I think it looks about the same as it did before. All this information here, it needs to be fixed up. It needs to be organized by title or some bullet points. It's just, I'm not going to read through all of this. I've gone long on the other two, so I don't want to go so long in here, but it's kind of messed. It's not organized at all. It's a real hard read to just read through all this. The vision, to create a tool with which people around the world can use to improve the environment, focusing now on agricultural techniques. So it spreads the knowledge of how to do things around the world, which is a great idea. But why does it have to be a Dapp? You know, I read through all of this, and there's no reason that this has to be a decentralized application. This can just be a regular application. There's nothing that blockchain is going to do for this application that I see or that I read here. If there's something they're thinking about that they didn't perhaps put in their project here, that would have been, they can't change it now, but that would have been something to change. You know, this could be done with a regular Dapp. Let's see here. Okay, I don't want to go through this whole thing. Essentially, it just kind of explains what I did and gives an example of someone in Ethiopia getting information from a Hungarian farmer and how that would work, and how the AI would eventually separate the information. So someone in, say, Ethiopia would get the correct information for like their part of the world and how it grows there versus other places. It's an interesting idea, but I just don't think you need I don't see why you need a Dapp. This could be a regular application. This is just some AI techniques and stuff. This is pretty cool. It shows whether they have their correct working gear on. Okay, so then they want $15,000. $15,000 is not a lot of money, but again, they don't really say what they want it for. There's no breakdown. So this project, unfortunately, I don't think they did much in the sense of fixing this project up when they had the chance. So yeah, so this needs this needs a little work. I think it's a good idea, but you have to explain to me why it has to be a Dapp and why it can't just be a regular application. Alrighty, so those are the three for today. They've all kind of gone a little overboard here. I think that's probably because this is my first day back. So I apologize for the length of some of these. And the first one we actually went black. That's pretty funny. Okay, so community chatter. So what are we talking about today in the community? Most people are talking about the who won, right? So let me show you real quick here what happened with this. So this is Fund 3. So these are all the winners of Fund 3. I don't want to go through all these. I'll talk about a couple. Like this first one, the liquidity, liquid Cardano DeFi liquidity pools. This is essentially an extension from Fund 2. They also got funded in Fund 2. So this is kind of an extension of their project. That's a DeFi project, a liquidity pool. Looking through here, there's a lot of NFT stuff, digital assets. This food traceability solution, that was really cool. I went over that on one of my shows here. Different modules. This is good. Visual Studio smart contract plugin. So essentially, if you're not a programmer, what that is it just lets you use Visual Studio, which helps you program. Right? It's a program to help you program. I guess that's the best way to say it. And this is creating a plugin, and the plugin will help you more to use Plutus and other languages. So that's really pretty good. Stake pool operator tools, Makerspace. This guy's been trying to get funded for a long time. I'm glad he did. This is a good dev lessons. This is a good project. Grow Africa, Grow Cardano is another project we looked at. So they got I think a lot of good projects got funded. A lot of deserving projects definitely got funded. So that is good. Then that's kind of what we're talking about. Most people are talking about that today in the community. So aside from that, I think that's it. I'm glad to get this out on Friday. I'm going to start going the full week again next Monday. So I will see everyone then. Stay happy and healthy. Take care. Bye-bye.